Mang. It's a Mang.
Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang, thank you, Mang. Ding, 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 ding. I don't know, I just like it. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, that's the one. That's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
The sultry one?
Comes in at 3. Got one
We're
too.
shooting from here up. 'Cause He does the whole interview like that.
4.
Hello.
It starts at 1.
3, 4, 5. I could put your shoe inside mine. I could wear your shoe as a sock.
No, not even. Soul to soul.
So.
That's all we know. Your energy frequency is too high.
Fine, it's so high right now.
Am I? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You can see a purple aura behind you.
Your
aura
aura,
is
it's
purple. It's purple. Don't do drugs.
One of my favorite movies.
Okay.
All right.
We're on.
Welcome back to the evolution of No Rest to Success. We are starting anew in this digital age, and we're coming at you as the universal Strand. And I am so thrilled to be creating and curating with you again. This is Sir Justus Funk Bucket,
What's
the
up?
not co-creator, the pure creator.
I do both sides.
He does.
I'm co-creator on-
What were you saying? He has a wonderful project that he's working on called the Justus Project, and he's going to be one of our educators at our Stranded in the Alley event in Ferguson's this summer. So thank you so much for just being you and your authentic self. I kind of want to talk about, do you remember how we met?
No, that's still fuzzy.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where it was. I just know that the circle you were in, I was gravitated towards, and I just left the people I did, and I said I need to stand here and hang out with you guys. And that
Oh.
was pretty much how it started.
It's awesome.
And then we did some stuff after that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I remember one moment in particular when I was thinking about creating this thing called No Rest to Success, or NRTS, and I met up with Mallory when she had her space in the container park, and you had just happened to come there, and it was like everything else in our lives where like the universe pulls us together and they're like, you guys need to vibe together for whatever reason. We don't really know all the time, but we're like, okay, we're here and we're conduits for you, so where are you taking us on this journey?
Absolutely.
And you were one of the first educators I had at the first event.
Get a clap.
Are we unstatified?
Unstatified, yeah.
I think so.
So fast forwarding to the present moment, I was present, or it's still
Right
kind of
now.
past. It's not present.
Depends when you're watching.
That's true.
It's a present to everybody, though.
Oh, look at you. He took it there.
Boom, boom.
Tear. I was filming an awesome content video with one of my filming buddies and a girlfriend that models, and I was filming in different locations down Fremont Street, and when I was filming in front of the Prey Mantis at the container park where we had our first event, all of a sudden I like feel this presence that is familiar, and then when I finally take a break to look, it's Justus right in front of the container park, and I'm like, and to me it was such a beautiful sign from the universe of being on the right path and producing and creating the things that this community is looking for and needing to move forward into the next place that we're going in the hair world.
Absolutely.
So on that point,
Okay.
you
Here
crack
we
me
go.
up.
Go for it.
How long have you been in the hair industry?
I've been doing hair 20 plus, so I would say probably 22 years.
And from my understanding, you've always been a performer of some sort.
Yes.
So what were you doing before you started doing hair?
What my first passion was dance, actually. Yeah, it was music, just letting my body kind of represent what my soul was feeling on the inside, and hip hop and different styles of dance. I always loved interpretive dance. It was kind of ugly and
is it like
beautiful.
intuitive, like you're just
yeah,
moving
there's
with the
really
sound
no
of the music?
set like counts. It's like you do some kind of weird stuff, but you let it flow. It was always very appealing to me. yeah, then I got into a Brazilian martial art that also kind of incorporated dance mixed with fighting, so that was all kind of fun.
What is that called again?
Capoeira.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's very, you have to think about technical as well as improv. And yeah, it's a lot going on at once.
And then what happened to push you into starting to do hair?
My grandmother, she was like, why don't you do hair? And I was like, I've never thought my G.I. Joes didn't have hair, my He-Man didn't have hair. So I was like, they took me on a field trip to the salon that I ended up being in. And I was like, wow, the connection that these people are having, plus how cool they look, the music they're playing, and the beautiful people in there was pretty much a given.
How old were you?
I was 18 and a half in San Diego. Yeah, so
Neat.
yeah, it was really awesome. I had no clue about how to do hair at all. I just wanted to be part of the industry.
Yeah. What was your school experience like?
For hair?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to a community college.
Really?
Yeah.
They had it there?
Yep, they had one downtown San Diego. It was awesome.
Yeah. How long was it?
It was like, oh man, shoot, I'm gonna lose this, but it was about a year, you know, because I did it all in a one shot instead of two. But one of the crazy things was, one of the stories I remember, there was a girl in there named Deidre, and I got in with everybody, right? You just stay there long enough, you learn how to connect and kind of vibe with everybody. And I remember everybody went outside for lunch, and she came to me, and it was one of those bless your heart moments, like, I love you, but like, I gotta, you know, I wonder. She goes, so why do you want to do hair? And it was because I struggled a lot in school. I struggled a lot. I am the type of person that needs to chew everything I do 50 times, spit it out, eat it again, and then go, oh, that's just my process.
Yeah.
And that was like a good early on glimpse, because eventually I became much better than a lot of the people that weren't putting in the time.
Yeah.
So, and she later on says, now I know why you're doing hair.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was just a really cool.
Yeah, what
cool
was that full
interaction.
circle moment like? Did you guys just keep in contact, or?
No, that was enough.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't see anybody from that kind of school. But
Yeah.
it was just one of those good moments, kind of like people were asking me to do their hair after a while.
That's beautiful.
I became like a hairdresser's hairdresser.
Yeah, which you
Yeah,
totally are.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know Justus, we'll definitely have his social handles on whatever we're posting. And please go look at him and follow his artistic eye. It's impeccable, the sculpting that you do.
Thank you.
It's next level. It's like looking at it, it's very much you. Like, it's your creation. Like any other artist, you have a energy and a sense about what you are curating, and even seeing it like on mutual friends just randomly as it grows out, it's still so beautiful. And the artistic eye of how you blend beards into rad geometrical fades, and that it's so disconnected but it's so connected at the same time. You have such a beautiful intuitive eye.
I love that. I love it when people know me and they see something out and go, he
That's
did that.
you.
Or
Yeah.
Or
It's
I
your
can actually
signature.
Amber is going to be on here in a little
Yeah.
bit, and I've seen her work. I'm like,
Totally.
she did those frames. I could just tell.
Ambi.
Oh,
And Ira, like we have.
yeah.
Vegas.
It's
Can
really
we-
cool. And there's a lot of individuals here
yes.
that have their own style and have put in the time and put in the work. These people, yeah, it's good to be surrounded by people that love what they do.
Yes, it is.
And have
What
their
a
own
beautiful
identity.
what a beautiful community we have that has
Absolutely.
curated that together
Absolutely.
individually. So
Yeah.
I would love for you to let all of us know about your project, the Justus Project.
Okay. So the Just Us Project, not to be confused with Justus's project. It's the Just Us Project. And it came about because I have taught for about 18 years in my career. And I absolutely love teaching. And there came a point where I felt very stagnant in what I was teaching, and I decided to stop and become a student again and started learning all the things I missed from the very beginning of hair, a lot of technical and understanding shapes. And I had been saying no for so long to teaching that someone asked me, hey, will you do a class? And I was about to say no, but for some reason I felt my soul was saying, say yes on this one, as long as I could do it my way. So I went, I taught the class, wasn't a great class, wasn't a bad class, just 6 years dusting cobwebs off, getting in front of people and connecting. with that being said, when I left, I went into the parking lot, this piece that said all over, just said, you're never going to do a class like that again, and it's going to be great. And that's kind of the moment that was very insightful, that technique and creativity is extremely important in our craft, or any craft.
Yes.
Somebody's take on it, as well as rules that will always work for you, is what we build everything on. But it's not the only thing.
Of course.
So I decided, what if we had a intimate look into people that we follow? Not so much what they do and how they do it, but where they've been, where they're at, what keeps them up at night, what are the things that drive them, what happened when their mother died or had cancer. Was it G.I. Joe or Transformers when you were a kid? Was it Cocoa Puffs or Chocolate Krispies or whatever it is? Just a more intimate look of who you are and how we all are a little bit more connected than we think of other than just on Instagram or Facebook saying, I loved your haircut, great shot. Those are important, but this is more of a moment to connect and kind of really see that we're a lot more similar. So the setting is not in a salon.
Which is impeccable. He's had 2 of these events so far,
Yes.
and it's been different. But this last place that you had, it fit your brand.
It did. It fit
so
the vibe.
perfectly.
The venue.
Yes.
So it was, I needed to, there was a couple things that needed to happen in order to make this work. One, I have a host, and that host is not a hairdresser. So this host
What is this host?
Okay, he's a physicist. He's a full-time musician. He looks like Jeff Goldblum's cousin. Like, just really tall, good-looking guy, very confident, smart, very, very, very smart. Dresses in a suit probably to take a shower. I mean, this guy is just clean all the time, always is on point.
Yes.
And that was very important, because when you have people talking about the same medium a lot, sometimes you're going to go ahead and repeat yourself quite often, even if you don't want to. So I figured having someone that wasn't in this medium does 2 things. One, asks questions from a different perspective, but also allows the Just Us project to not just be about hairdressers. I'm playing in the world that I know. So I start with the people in my tribe first, and that's creators that I have worked with and hairdressers. But ultimately, the medium isn't the most important, it's the human behind it. So with having someone like Gregory Michael Davis, who's my host, we can go, #name right here.
Boop, 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 boop. Check him out. He just released a song and a single and a music video. Boop.
Great voice. So that's the one thing. And the second one was get him out of a salon. Let's get him in a house. So this is it in a nutshell. 30 people in a mid-century swanky house here in Las Vegas. Basically
Ralphie's, right?
Yes, Ralphie the Shoes, he goes by.
Okay.
Which is super cool. He built a speakeasy into his house. He has 3 bars in there throughout the whole place. And what it is, you come in, I have giant pillows everywhere. We have a lava lamp, of course. We have great music going. Okay, we have some maybe incense playing out in the backyard, so when you're walking in. And instead of just having people right in front of you and the energy going out and not coming back, everybody's sitting on giant pillows and laying around, moving around, and Greg will walk down that guest artist of the night, their life's journey, from beginning to all what they've been through to the present, and even into where they're going in the future. And it's not scripted. It's not your mom's hair class, it's not like a set thing. There's no hair being done. Like I said, that's super important, but that night is about who are you?
And out of the 2 people that he's interviewed so far, the first one being Ira Pope Sage, and
Incredible.
the second one being Cheetah Bezos, is how you say her
Beso.
last name?
Beso, yep.
When Gregory was asking the questions, they were shocked sometimes to the point where they didn't know how to answer it, and it got very emotional. And it was such a beautiful moment for human connectivity to be able to feel vulnerable with your peers.
In a safe space.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. So far, I have not been actually filming the journey, is what I call it. It's 45 minutes or 50 minutes if it goes a little longer. We film, maybe we'll show like the interaction and what people are feeling and vibing during the night. So it's about a 3-hour event. Or Ralphie actually doesn't like to kick people out. You can drink all night. He's like, why are you guys leaving so early?
Really?
Yeah, he loves the
Don't tell the people that.
Yeah, so you don't have to leave. It's the cocktail culture, and which is awesome, because in the 60s they had a cocktail culture which was really connecting.
I'm so unfamiliar with that.
Yeah, so they really kind of celebrated, number one, having alcohol and that kind of situation, but also being able to connect with each other. So yeah, we go down the life's journey. I had Ira Pope Sage, and the very first thing out of his mouth just floored everybody.
Oh yeah.
It set the tempo. There was a moment that I spoke with Ira before he left, and I said, did Greg say anything to you that made you say, oh my God, did I just say that? Cool. So Ira Pope Sage was my first guest, and it was really great for me because I love and respect the guy. I think he's phenomenal, and a lot of people that know him feel the same way. It was also awesome because I'm an idea guy, but I'm also someone that knows that you need to have input of people you respect, and then even if it's counter to what you're thinking, chew on it, because you might not be on point. Yeah, exactly. So Ira helped me out quite a lot with some of the concepts in the beginning of like how I would bring, hey, this is what I want to do, a different type of way to class, a new way to class, I like to say. And he was like, you need this type of host. And I was like, well, what if it wasn't a hairdresser? And he goes, get your client Greg. And that was just one thing after another. So it was really great to have his input and some of the things that Ira said. In fact, he talked about one story being on stage and just kind of crying to himself or really doubting himself while he was on stage, thinking he didn't deserve to be there. And to have people in the audience go,
which
oh my God.
was wild, because I could never
nobody knows
him
that.
feeling like he wasn't enough.
But that's the point. Everybody feels this way. Everybody
true.
needs to hear this, and especially the titans out there that we look up to. And then we had Cheetah Beso, who's fantastic. She's such a good soul too, and incredible with color and braiding. And one thing she said in her journey was that she had been told that she does things more childlike and very simplistic but clean, and I loved it. And there's an essence to that that's really, really cool, and that comes through.
It seemed like there was a deeper connection to why, like when that was brought up, it was one of the first moments it seemed like she made that aha of like, oh, I know where that stems from. And it was such a like, it was so lovely.
A self-realization.
Yeah, and it was so lovely to be part of that energy flow and be like, oh my gosh, like it's like a family talk, you know, like very genuine and vulnerable.
It affects the people that are talking as much as it affects the people in the audience. The people that are actually sharing their journey are actually kind of having these moments. Ira's girlfriend said, you're hearing things that I hear. You know, you're getting to see a side more intimate. So it would be really cool in the future. I don't know when, but you know, one day somebody says, listen, I went to one of your classes and this happened. Because these little stories, there's a couple of them already, and it just makes me realize I leaned all in and it's paying off. And it's paying off in a way that's really going to reach people. And I believe, listen, you can look on Justus Project, Instagram and Facebook, and you're going to still go, boom, you're going to still go, what is it? You know, and that's kind of what I want, but you'll see the people there, you'll see the posts, and there was a challenge that I did for the last one. I challenged some of the people there to share vulnerability with me, and just people, the response was really good.
Very authentic.
Yeah, you know, and I love teaching and educating, but I decided not to saturate a market that's already got so many great, medium, and terrible educators in it. Let them all kind of figure out who they are and where they're going to go and get better, and you know, and let them do that. I believe that there was something missing, and
you're filling that void.
100%. Somebody's going to do it.
You know what happened at your first event is after Ira was being interviewed by Greg, we went outside to go sit around a fire, and it was so beautiful to connect around fire. It's so tribal. And Ira looked at me in the eyes and he's like, what are you doing with NRTS? Why did you stop that? Why don't you start doing it again? And you know what? Question. Ira, I know you're watching this because you love us. You helped rebirth this within myself. And you know what? He texted me earlier this week and he said, the people deserve to have what you're curating. Same thing for you. The people deserve what you are curating. That's what they want. That's what they need. That's why there's a void and you're feeling it, because it's not being done yet. And what a beautiful, vulnerable place you've put yourself in to curate it. Please go follow this project. Please put the energy towards this. It is such a beautiful, authentic, vulnerable, beautiful thing that you're doing, and he deserves to be supported by our industry. So please go to this, and he's gonna have more things happening. I want to interview again after you.
Done a few more?
Yeah, no, actually this next one.
Oh, okay, go.
So I talked to Greg about this yesterday. When you interview Greg, I would like to have you guys back after that to have a whatever I'm saying.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, a co-interview.
Yeah, awesome.
So I would love that.
Awesome,
That'd
and
be
I'm
amazing.
really excited. So one thing that I've learned is that because I have so many ideas, that if I thought about them enough, I felt like I did them and I never followed through. So I stopped doing that. I had kind of coined myself as the almost man, and I said I will not die being the almost, like I almost did this but never did it.
How many times do we all experience
So then I ended up, of course, putting that scarlet letter on my wrist so that I would know it was there. And now I see myself going, I almost didn't do it, but I did. And I stuck with the Justus project for a while, but then the universe has a way of saying, okay, now it's time to create. So I started getting back with my good hair buddy, Dottie V, who's also fantastic.
Amazing.
We just started, she's in the right place, I was in the right place, so now I'm doing some hair collabs with her, and we are going to do, again, on stage for the next one. So it's really great. It's just in an awesome creative place, from the project to doing hair to hanging out with you guys.
Just getting the family back together.
Yeah.
The band's back together, guys.
Yes.
Come join us. It's fun. Would you tell us something that really inspires you about doing hair behind the chair?
Oh, my connection with people. 100%. And in fact, somebody I know kind of helped me realize that not everybody does hair for the same or gets out of it what I do, which is interesting because we forget that other people's life experiences are not always exactly the way we are.
Yeah.
And I realized that I connect behind the chair. I love my connections with my clients, and it's more than just family. I have some connection with all of them, but there's some inner deep connections with just some of them, and I can remember, the conversations and that. So that inspires me. And also just having, I also swing dance, and in my group, a lot of the guys have never been shown style. So it's kind of cool to teach them and show them. And just the other night, this guy came up and he was dapper and his hair looked good. He's like, dude, look at my hair. Thank you so much. He has curly hair. He's never been shown how to style it. It just took me 5 to 10 minutes to show him what to do.
That's
But it was really cool to see that little pep in the step.
And you're like, helped curate that in someone?
Yeah, now as far as artistically in the hair, I like putting shapes in the hair, not necessarily carving in lines to do that, but just using weight and gradients of the hair of how close and long it is. So kind of just putting some interesting shapes and doing what I'm feeling at the moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You did 2 events for NRTS when we were
Yes,
doing
I did.
them every month 2 years ago. And I would love to talk about it because he was like, hey, I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to tell you what it is, and I'm just going to do it on stage. Is that cool? I'm like, I trust you, and this is a space to be creative. That's why I'm curating this. And so we can get out of the box of like, yeah, it's beautiful to create behind the chair, but sometimes we want more than that.
Yeah.
And so what did you do?
On the first or second?
The second one.
Okay, so the second was, I was asked to do another one, and one of the biggest things that I had to, in my, we all get in our head, and I'm like, I want to be there for Steph because I love her and I want to help, but man, I don't want to do too many because you never want to be oversaturate in your own backyard. They see you too much. And then I said, no, I'm looking at it wrong. There's some guys coming in from town that'll be up after me. Why not open the show with a really just fun thing to do? And my philosophy is, if I'm getting paid or I'm being asked to produce a haircut from behind the chair, I do what the client wants or the company wants mixed with what I want. But when it's something for free and it's creative, it is all what I want.
As it should be.
Yes, 100% my time to say this is what I'm doing and we're gonna see what happens. So I decided to cut a graduated bob, of course, from the front, having everything come this way, and I used the fringe bringing my model's face down, which I'll tell you how I did that. I cut the fringe, and that way, just how I would do. Front door.
Leave it up to Amber. I love you,
Did she forget we were interviewing? Whatever.
Just to go, babe.
Damn artists. Anyway, so basically I treated the fringe as if it was in the nape area where you do your graduation. So I brought the head forward and I did everything that way, and I pulled everything forward as if it's a graduated bob. And if you understand the way the hair works, when you flip it back, it turns into a nice shag. But I put her on an inversion table so that she was face down at a 45-degree angle, and I cut the hair according to the angle of her body, using that as my guide and my shape.
That was mind-blowing. I can't even tell you. I can try to at this moment in time, but that's all I can do. That connected so much for me, angularly,
Great.
of what we're doing geometrically on 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
Like, it just like made so many things snap for me. Just having you be creative at that level. Thank you.
That's
it was
cool.
radical, and it was like pushing boundaries. Like, I would have never thought of something like that, and of course you did, and of course you brought it to the. You were the first one on the stage, and you were like, you blew everything out of the water. It's like, okay, we're ready to go home now.
All
bye.
right, you want me again? Okay, I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Oh,
Totally.
show's over. Now, it could be considered as gimmick, and you know what? Gimmicks work. Gimmicks work, but I turned it into something that was practical and understanding. It's something Listen, being great is fantastic, and I am an advocate for being great, but being memorable is also very good.
Yeah.
Whether you failed fantastically or you succeeded amazingly, being memorable is incredible, because nowadays it's just like, oh, cool, swipe, But to have that moment of the table didn't break. I was so happy. But that would have been memorable too.
It was. He's so positive.
The hair would have rocked, and I was like, remember that girl that
Right.
fell on the table? Who brought that thing?
It wasn't me.
Yeah. But it was awesome. And you know what? Thank you again for providing a space and saying, Justus, just be you and do your thing.
Thank you.
I've had things before where they're like, be you, and then afterwards.
But like, don't.
Yeah, no. I had done something for an event, and they had asked me back a second time, and I had asked them 3 times on the first time, can I do what I want? And they told me 3 times. I specifically asked, do what you want. Well, on the second time, they wrote in some new rules that said I couldn't do this again. And I'm like, good, I did my job. It sucks that you're writing rules, but whatever.
Right.
So.
I would like to finish with one more question.
Okay.
One for me and one for the audience. How did No Rest to Success affect you in your career and for you personally?
Well, being in Vegas, a lot of things, you could go to hair shows and see each other and connect that way, or you could see hashtags and that. But being on a stage with people that have been doing hair for a long time, medium time, no time, was just really, there's something about a great energy, and then you putting that together and facilitating that outside on this big stage in a newer area too that was new. It was a great turnout. It was just awesome for me because I got to work with my hair best friend, Dottie, and I actually got to work with some people that I used to work with, Larry Rea, and that was cool. We used to work at a hotel together, and then we reconnected on the stage. It was just really awesome. Anytime that I get a chance, I had a concept idea, and I was calling it Fused, and I still might be calling it Fused, where you take a geometric shape, strong shape, and then add it with a chaotic shape, and you juxtaposition the hair, and that's kind of what we were.
Juxtaposition?
Juxtaposition. The hair. Let's keep going. Justice has been served. Ching. Anyways, so juxtaposition of the hair, and that for me is just, there's a beast in all artists, and if we don't feed that artistic beast, it becomes very angry or very weak and very kind of like bitter, and just getting on stage doing what I was really wanting to do was just fantastic. That will always be a benefit in my career as an artist, and yeah.
Awesome.
So, and yeah, I love it. I think, and then I did the second one. I wasn't in it, but I helped out. Either it was third or fourth, and Aaron Johnson was here, and different people here, and just being around that energy and vibe and creative space that's not endorsing any type of company product line or anything, but just necessary, you know, our craft. It's just awesome. Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you. I'm excited to bring it back and
Oh,
share
yeah,
it with
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, and where it's gonna go and evolve to, it's gonna
Yeah.
be really great. So.
Yeah. So stick around for Stranded in the Alley.
Stranded, help
Stranded.
me.
Ah! Help me.
Help me.
With Justus and
Just
Dottie.
us.
With just us and Dottie.
Just us and Dottie.
And a couple other people.
Yeah, why not?
Thank you so
Yes.
much for taking the time to meet and
Yes.
to hug and to talk.
Yeah,
And
I would have ran into you somehow anyway, so you might as well invite me.
It's true.
I
this is
just
how
show
this
up and there he is again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Stick around.
Thank you guys
Make
for your
sure
time.
that you guys go follow Justus and the Justus Project.
The
We'll
Justus
put
Project, for sure.
information below. And please continue to follow what No Rest of Success is doing. And please come out to our event, Stranded in the Alley, produced
Can't
by
wait.
No Rest of Success and the Ferguson crew. So we'll see you on the flip side.
Awesome.